I mean, Jimmy Butler is the guy that we can blame for the Timberwolves' downfall right now. That trade single-handedly is why we don't have Zach LaVine and Karl Anthony Towns on the team.
So interesting point you just brought up, Zach LaVine. I read an ESPN article. I think it was either yesterday or 2 days ago. But after the 2022 season, Zach LaVine's set to become an unrestricted free agent, and he's not signing an extension. Now, D'Lo's contract, I think, is up after 2022 as well. So, Zach LaVine, I think, is a couple steps above D'Lo. First of all,
Yeah,
as much as I've loved D'Lo, and as much as we love D'Lo and Cat's connection, I think Zach LaVine and Cat's connection might run deeper
might
than
be.
D'Lo. So, if I'm the Timberwolves, I'd love to re-sign Russell, but if you can somehow find a way to get a 28-year-old Zach LaVine to Minnesota dead in his prime, yeah, I'm doing that. I'm doing that over D'Lo.
I mean, yeah, would LaVine be interested, do you think, in coming back after we kind of gave him away, just kind of got rid of him?
Well, I think you have new management. I think you have a new coach, and you still have Cat. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I
But
don't see any reason.
is he just kind of like a glorified Anthony Edwards at this point? Is he kind of what we want Anthony Edwards to be? So how would they mesh up on the same team together? Especially at that point, Anthony Edwards is going to be starting to find himself a lot more as a player, and he might be close to Zach LaVine's level of play. So how do you think those two would play together on the court?
I think they play great, and the reason being is they are two a kind of the same player. And honest, for sure, Zach LaVine would be a great mentor. I just think Zach LaVine's a better playmaker than D'Lo in general too.
Mhm.
You see Zach LaVine passing the ball more. Honestly, it's not a knock on D'Lo, but it's like sometimes when you watch him, he just puts his head down, runs around screens, and takes a bad shot. And it's like, oh, you could probably hit that guy in the corner. But Zach LaVine, man, he knows when to hit the open guy. His 3-point shot was what we kind of worried about when he was a rookie. He's a
Mhm.
tremendous shooter right
That's
now.
what I've noticed about his game. If there's one thing that sticks out about his game is he's an amazing shooter. And for sure in 2K, he's a great
Mhm.
shooter. But just yeah, in real life, he's a great shooter too. Didn't he have 10 threes in a game?
Yeah, I mean he's a tremendous player. Like he's a
Yeah.
3-level scorer now. And he's one of the best clutch players in the NBA this season. Is another trait that I don't think gets mentioned enough is his clutchness, and he's won more than enough games for them this season single-handedly.
Yeah.
But I guess you also have to look at, so the Bulls just traded away 2 firsts and a really nice young big in Wendell Carter. We both love him for his defensive prowess. So I think, where does that leave the Bulls? Like, oh shoot, Vucevic I think is also up in 2022. So
They're in an
that's
awkward position for sure. Really
because
awkward.
if Zach leaves, Nikola ain't staying, and the
No.
Bulls just traded away 3 assets if you count the player.
Yeah.
So I mean, and they're kind of in a weird spot right now on the fringe of making the playoffs. But if they do make the playoffs, they're going to get bounced first round by the Nets. Like, they're in a weird spot. So they either need to acquire another superstar
Yep.
or they need to start over again.
Yeah,
So
they're probably in a worse one of the worst spots in the NBA. Like that's just such a bad position to be in because they're not good enough to make a finals run. And their
no,
clock is really ticking. Like their clock runs out in 2022. So if they don't acquire that third superstar by then, like it's over. Especially if Zacky's coming back, like you basically said.
yeah, and I mean, if if you're not even open to extension talks and want to hit the free market being unrestricted, I mean that's not a great sign to your
No.
team if you can't get a if he's already looking 2 years in the future to the
Yeah.
two free agencies. I mean, that ain't a good sign. So I don't
No.
know.